and the Princess Helena. One day while out horseback riding in Central Park, Lilybeth saw that a tree had fallen across the path, blocking her way. So she said to her horse, "You'll trot and canter and jump right over this tree for me now, won't you, girl?" Whee! And with that they rode for it, jumping high over the fallen tree in a leap of faith, but landing in a strange place. The path was now gone, and as she looked about, she could hear loud noises. So she rode towards the commotion, and she came upon a battle. It was only then that she noticed that her clothes were different now. She was dressed as a warrior princess. "It's the Princess Helena!" some of the men shouted. "The Princess Helena! We must protect her." So the men started to rally around her. So Lilybeth yelled, "No! You can't pull back now because of me. We've got them." Acting on instinct, she pulled a sword from her shoulder belt, used to carry a sword, and raising her sword, she shouted, "Onward to victory! Onward to victory!" And with that, she led her soldiers into the thick of it, and for hours cut and slashed through the enemy forces, almost single-handedly, turning the tide of the battle, if not the war, in her army's favor, as she drove the enemy soldiers from the field. So fierce was her strength, determination, and ability, that all who witnessed her bravery in battle were amazed. And when the last of the enemy had retreated, the Princess Helena's soldiers cheered Lilybeth, and many kissed her hand as she rode past them. "But I'm not the..." Well, she started to say she wasn't the princess, but stopped herself. After all, she hadn't fought for glory, but for country. The battle won, the princess bid the soldiers good farewell to her troops, and then she headed back towards the fallen tree. And picking up speed, she raced towards the fallen tree, and leaping over it, she tumbled forward off of the horse and landed on the ground. Sitting up, she looked around. She could see that she was back in Central Park in her own clothes again. Did that all just happen, she thought to herself. I know it was a dream, but it feels more like a memory. Getting back up onto the horse, Lilybeth thought, "Farewell to thee." Meanwhile, the soldiers had returned to the main camp and told the king and queen of the bravery of the Princess Helena in battle that day. They all said that a feast should be held in her honor. The king and queen were quite surprised to hear this, because the Princess Helena hadn't left the queen's side all day. "The gods must have heard our prayers and sent an archangel to help on our side," said the king to the queen. They both agreed. At home, Lilybeth wrote it all down into her journal, and then said good night to her pet dragon, Kagon.